Congratulations, Bishop Moore, class of 2020. I just want to go ahead and tell you how much I know it means not just to me, but to everyone else. You've had the opportunity to finally graduate. I'm Waymon Armstrong. I was going to be able to speak at the commencement lunch was canceled, and I'm so thankful that the leadership has given me this opportunity to say a few words to you. I got to tell you this, I was probably surprised and shocked of anybody that they would ask me to do this. And when they did, I said yes before they went back and decided they changed their mind. I've got 3 of my classmates whose sons are graduating this class, and the consensus between me and all of them was, if you were going to say who was the last person in the class who ever had this opportunity among our classmates, their parents, teachers, coaches, administrators to do this, it would go ahead and it would have been me. So you look and say, how's a guy who have such low expectations kind of high school get this? Well, obviously there is a great opportunity. You're going to find out yourself as far as a change. The fact is, I felt those expectations that others might have felt. I didn't have myself. I know I didn't apply myself, but also learned something that came out of it, that my past didn't define me. And just like you're going to learn as far as going forward for the same thing in the scenario that what you've been into. This pandemic, the recession, the racial strife that we've been going on, discussion as far as equality and justice that's coming, this is not going to define you. It's going to shape you, but not define you. For you seniors, the high achievers who graduated this year, we know how hard you work. We know how smart you are. Every accolade that you've earned, you deserved. And we know you're only going to go ahead and succeed going forward. To the grinders out there who had to earn and work hard for everything, to sweat it out, you've earned the respect of not just as far as your parents, but also as your teachers. For you slackers who were like me, that was the term as you described me. I remember my oldest read my yearbook last summer. She goes, Dad, everybody's just so shocked you graduated. Well, that was me. That's not you, but we are so happy you graduated. And we know that you probably put a lot of emphasis on your extracurricular activities and and having a great time like I did and not applying yourself. Well, you've got some great emotional IQ now. Let's focus as far as on the academics as we go forward. And lastly, to the spring athletes, our heart breaks for you for not having the opportunity to go ahead and what you've worked so hard with your team, with your band of brothers and sisters to achieve. You didn't lose as far as they just stopped. You ran out of time. We know it was important as far as and going through there, and you're always going to go ahead and be winners to us. When I look back as far as on how I've changed in that time, what did it take for me to go ahead to be able that 10 years ago to be in the White House, to be in the Rose Garden, have President Obama recognizing me from the United States Small Business Administration as the National Small Business Person of the Year. Well, I learned a lot, and that foundation came from my experience at Bishop Moore. I moved midway through my freshman year, started Bishop Moore. My mother had left my father, who was a veteran who suffered from post-traumatic stress. She had a job working in the travel industry and was gone most of the time. It was my Southern Baptist grandfather who paid for me to go to Bishop Moore. And it was that community, it was that family that helped raise me. And I believe any of the success I have, not to mention the seeds of my faith, were go ahead and sown right then during this time. And so as I go forward, what were the 3 things that really helped me? First and foremost, I found what my purpose was. What is my why? To quote Romans 8:28, we know in all things God works for good for those who love Him, who've been called according to His purpose. Please look at this time as you're going into college to find what your purpose is. What's that passion that goes ahead and motivates you, that you just want to go ahead and think about more than anything else? Find out what that is. Spend that time to explore, to go ahead and take things that are outside your comfort zone. Remember, you're doing what you want to do now. I know as far as your parents, your teachers, your friends, and what they want to do, what do you want to do as far as your life? Once you find that, go ahead and make that plan so you can go ahead and make it a reality. And to make it a reality, you've got to persist. Your dreams do not come overnight. I'm here to tell you. Have you ever heard that saying, I love something so much, I do it for nothing? Well, when I started engineering computer simulations, ECS, a firm that I've been blessed to lead for the last 24 years and proud to serve the warfighter, there was 3 years I didn't get paid. I lived as far as through my wife supporting me as far as in credit cards, and 2 of our 3 kids were born, but I loved it that much. I believed in it so much. Find what that purpose is. Second is, do not be afraid to fail. You are going to fail. Listen, I got to tell you, I fail. You heard me talk briefly about one of my successes. I could talk all day about my failures. Don't be afraid to fail. It does not define you. You are going to get a second chance. Take that chance. We're talking about where you go to school, where you're going to live, what you're going to major in. This even applies to your personal life. 25 years ago, I took a chance as far as on a blind phone call, lead to a blind date. And it's for my wife, was the best decision I ever made. Don't be afraid to take a chance. And lastly, 2 words. I'm going to end with this as far as be grateful. The happiest people in the world are thankful for what they have. Every day I want you to wake up and pick up 3 things to be happy and thankful about, grateful. And it's not stuff. It's not about things this world. And I'm going to help you, my going away gift to you. First and foremost, be grateful for your parents. They made the sacrifice. They believe in what a quality Catholic education is to go ahead and send you to Bishop Moore. For your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, siblings, and the rest of the family who've been there and stood with you, to them, thank them. I want you to be grateful as far as for your classmates. You are bonded forever. The experience you've had here at Bishop Moore. You're going to go ahead and go your separate ways, but you are going to have that relationship and you'll be picking up wherever you are to come back into that. And lastly, most importantly, I want you to go ahead and be grateful for the teachers, the administrators, the coaches, as far as the support staff that's invested, that's poured themselves into you over this time. They've made a difference for you just like they made a difference for me as far as 41 years ago when I graduated. I got to tell you this, any success I've had is because others wanted to see me succeed. And I can tell you that started at Bishop Moore. And I'll give thanks to myself, and I got this, to my teacher going back, Bruce Softball, who taught me the love of learning, to Larry Kelly as far as my dean of students and athletic director, who was always there to step in and be the father figure that I need as far as provide that discipline, to Mike Malatesta, your current athletic director, the only one left, who taught me about hustling and being on time and to wait my turn. You should have played, be more the coach. And to Peg Rose, who the new kitchen at the Moore Center is going to be named after. My mom worked hard as a single mom to support me. I didn't want at times to put her under stress. And there's times, a lot of times, I didn't have money for a meal at school. But I can always count on Miss Rose as far as on taking care of me. That's just an example for me. You've got your own story to share because you want to go ahead and tell those people now why you've got a chance. So as you go forward, just go ahead and be that person that helps other people succeed. I just wish you all the best in the world, and God bless you. Thank you. Goodbye.